Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 30th, presented by Mercury. We're going to connect today with Lee Pitts to talk about Weiss Lake and Neely Henry. Of course, Tom Ott at Guntersville, and our good friend Josh Aaron to talk about Logan Martin and Lay Lake. We'll be right back with what the guys have to say. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 30th, presented by Mercury. We're joined by Josh Aaron, our Bass Cat Mercury Pro from down there at Reaction Innovations. He's going to let us know what's going on at Logan Martin and Lay Lake. Josh, what's going on down there?
Man, not a lot's changed. It's kind of the same old gig right now. Everything's pretty well locked down, late summertime pattern, so you're still going to have your early top water thing going. But water temps are high enough and been high enough now that something that's kind of cool you can do this time of year is start looking for these cold water creeks. A lot of creeks on Lay and a few on Logan, they actually have natural flow in the back of them. I guess you'd call it reverse thinking, but these fish will actually migrate way, way in the back of these creeks where you'll watch the water temp go from upper 80s out in the main body till 76, 77 in the back where we're getting these cold water runoffs. And that's something you can really kind of go have a good time with. I mean, whether it be big stripers or spotted bass, I mean, and they'll go as shallow as you can float a boat in them. Throw top water and cover a bunch of ground in the morning and start working your way out a little bit in the day. Check any of these little main lake humps, brush, stuff like that, and that lay. I mean, it is definitely a grind to go catch you largemouth right now.
How much time do you have in the morning, Josh, before you have to really vacate the shallows and start looking for more of that offshore stuff?
And you got about an hour and a half from the time the sun comes up. I mean, once the sun really clears the trees, you're pretty well you're fighting a losing battle at that point in time. But it's a what I'd call gray light thing. Right there between where you can see pretty good, but you can't see the sun yet. That's like a little magic hour right now.
What kind of depths are you looking at when you pull offshore? Is it still fairly shallow, or are you going to actually look kind of deeper out there in 15, 20?
My favorite depth range on the Coos has always been 12 to 16. Our river ledges that we have here traditionally are really, really sharp, especially like Logan, Neely. When you roll out of a river channel, you go from 25 feet to 2. So that's kind of the curse of the Coosa is it doesn't set up very conducive for stuff like cranking. You got to be pretty particular about what you're looking for, because you can't really throw like a 6D in 2 foot of water and let it jump off into 25 and accomplish a whole lot. So you need to look for those kind of little stair step sections of the river where the river ledge actually goes from 25 to 12, then all the way up to 2, not in 2 to 25.
Well, Josh, as always, man, we appreciate everything, and we will talk to you again next week. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 30th, presented by Mercury. Time for us to head on up to that big old mountain lake in the sky, Guntersville. Tom, how's things going up Guntersville?
The fishing has been pretty good. It hasn't been stellar here lately, but we're starting to see some transition. We're seeing some fish move around. The grass is really topping out well, so we're seeing a lot of those fish that are that were on those ledges starting to creep up under those mats a lot more, especially the mats that are on the backside of the river channel, that kind of thing. The canopy's starting to move out a little bit, so again, it's just affording the fish a little bit more room up under those mats. But the flipping bite's not been too bad. It's been you still got to hunt and peck around, and you'll catch it's just like fishing anywhere else, but it's harder to move real quick, I guess, is the thing. So you're still going to be looking at your topo map and try to find those transition areas for those fish, but you're just going to be fishing through a mat, and grab you an ounce and a quarter weight, an ounce and 3/4 weight, and go to punch, and you can catch some good fish. I mean, there's some nice ones out there. Just for fun fishing right now, the schooling activity's been pretty hot. A lot of these big bays just open up, and all of a sudden you'll just see a big old wad of fish come up, start busting shad. Throw a crankbait over there, a scrounger head. There's a whole lot of baits that you can catch fish on. They don't have to be topwater just because they're schooling fish. And, I think we get a little stuck on that. And just to mention, there's a good topwater bite early in the morning. The frog bite's really picking up. These fish are moving all over the place. They're still eating the bluegill. They're still eating a lot of shad. That little frog bite can pick you up some key fish quickly. So don't forget that for sure.
Well, I know this. The topwater bite may be the most exciting thing in fishing, but there's something to be said for a big weight under that grass. When that head clears that grass, is it mainly the flip and bite, or is it kind of you got to do a little bit of everything to put something in the boat?
I think that there's certainly experts out there that are just doing one thing here, one thing there. I wouldn't go out. I haven't been out without a flipping stick on the deck. I haven't been out without a frog and without something, a buzz bait or a pop or something like that. Those are the ways that you're gonna put together a big bag. I think it's going to be real difficult. You get on the river channel, you could easily catch 10, 12 pounds flipping fish and have a nice 4-pounder. But if you can bounce around a little bit and have a couple of 4-pounders doing that, and a 4-pounder throwing a frog and maybe a big fish, on a schooling bait or a topwater early, that's how you're going to put together those 17 to 20 pound bags right now. It's just a lot of trial and error, but that's fishing for you guys for sure.
Well, Tom, as always, man, we appreciate it. Thanks for the expertise, and we'll talk to you again next week.
All right, Dano, tight lines. Y'all be safe out there.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 30th, presented by Mercury. It's time for us to connect with Lee Pitts, that superstar guide from Weiss Lake. Lee, what's happening on Weiss Lake right now?
Well, I tell you what, I had to venture out and find some new territory today. So, it's still that typical hot summertime. Even the topwater bite in the morning is kind of slowed down. That water's like bath water right now. Today I've had a spinning rod in my hand most of the day. And when you see me out there with a spinning rod, things aren't really up to par no matter where I'm at. So Weiss is a little tough right now. Some of the spotted bass are biting a little bit. And the biggest thing right now, even with our largemouth, you just got to sit there and really, really take your time, dragging some bigger worms, some of those big ribbon tail worms around, throwing a drop shot a little bit, which that's not really my creature there, but if it'll get bit, I'll drag a hot dog with you know what I mean? So right now you just got to slow down and do what you can to get bit.
So I know you're not the super finesse guy. I know you'll do it, but if you are going to go try to fish shallow, do you just have to soak it, or is it make presentations and look for a reaction strike?
The most of it's just looking for a reaction. It's one of those things. And like you said, I'm not a finesse guy. I'm not going to sit out there. I don't even own a pair of Chuck Taylors or a flat bill hat or nothing. It's just one of those things that you've got to get up there and get up against that wood cover, beat and bang, and just try to make it happen. And the biggest thing is you got to be productive and make sure every bite you get counts. So it's just that tough time you're fishing for 4, 5, 6 bites and just got to get out there and sweat and make it happen.
What about Neely Henry in the last minute? Tell me what's going on over there.
Neely's a little bit better. I think they're getting some more water flow right now, and it being more the river system that it is. Some of those spotted bass have still been a little active. Shaky heads, I know a lot of the guys have still throwing the big magnum worms on it, but also went down to some of the 4-inch stuff just trying to get bit. You can get bit on a jig out there, and also some guys have I don't throw a Carolina rig much, but it's starting to work down there. It's slow, and you can put it in the strike zone and leave it with them.
Well, Lee, as always, we appreciate it, and we like the thought of you and some Chuck Taylors and a flat bill. We'll talk to you again next week. Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 30th, presented by Mercury. Thanks to Josh, Tom, and Lee for everything that they do to help us put a few more fish in our boat. Hey, stay tuned for our Bucks Island On Tour ICAST edition with Colin, Israel, and myself with Michael at the helm. Coming soon, talk about ICAST, the new products that we saw, and our take on the show. Thank you for everything that you do and being the best part of Bucks Island. We appreciate everything.